One of the strangest games I ever played was Disney's Magical Mirror starring Mickey Mouse. The game was made in 2003 and it fell under a lot of people's radars. GameStop actually liked the game, but IGN hated it, big surprise. A lot of people talk about this game for one particular reason, but I'll get into that. We're not going to be reviewing this game, but I want to talk about what makes this game so memorable. First, let's talk about the story. It starts with Mickey sleeping and some ghost shows up, and I guess another version of himself enters the mirror, like a dream version of himself. So the beginning of the game's pretty standard fare, cartoony and lighthearted overall. The ghost just tries to scare him. The ghost scares him a bunch, breaks the mirror that brought him there. Then Mickey has to go find all the pieces to get back home. That's literally the only context you get on what's happening. Not that that's a bad thing though. Gameplay-wise, it's a point-and-click adventure game. You open doors, solve puzzles, and play mini-games. And there's this weird trick mechanic which involves Mickey getting hurt in some way in order to get a mirror piece. The mechanic requires stars to be found in order for it to work. The tone of the game is so weird. It's as inconsistent as a Tim Burton movie. The atmosphere is really eerie. Not that I'm scared of the game, but I do think it's eerie. Then you make it to a segment where you're walking through a hallway, the music's pretty calming, and then you enter a room. The next moment you're in a dark, dilapidated bedroom with a candle in the middle. The music changes to this really eerie sounding track, making the room feel way more sketchy. Mickey walks up to the candle and he lights it. You then see a ghost's eyes burning in Mickey's shadow. He sneaks up on him, though Mickey notices a shining coin, causing the ghost to accidentally burn himself. Also, it's really weird that it looks like nighttime outside, but in the other rooms it looks like morning. So you leave the room and journey far enough to the point where you get to a big foyer. You see the ghost on the ceiling next to a chandelier. Using the trick mechanic, he tries to drop it on Mickey. Once that fails, he decides to drop the clippers he used to cut the chandelier on top of Mickey. It almost kills him and he's reasonably afraid. In the next room to the right, I believe, he ends up in a dark room with the same music, go figure, with a sword and mace in the room. Before he can leave the room, the sword almost kills him, then chases him through the hallway. He then finds a painting with a flower that deforms, jump scaring him, and the ghost shows up again. In other rooms, the music is normal and the tone is relatively normal. The thing is, being alone in a huge house is creepy in itself. Plus, Mickey doesn't really interact with anyone but the ghost or the player. The house is very maze-like too. I got confused on what to do in my live streams of the game. We'll go back to the game on Halloween since I didn't 100% it. The thing is, I don't understand what the developers were trying to do with this game. We have Mickey, who is a kid's cartoon character in a house with eerie looking rooms, and a ghost that tries to kill him, and a lot of other things. If I had to make my best guess, it's because Capcom developed the game. That's the reason why it's so eerie. Since Capcom makes survival horror games, they probably wanted to add some type of horror element to the game. It just clashes with Mickey since he isn't known for having creepy stuff in his cartoons. It's interesting to see that stuff in this game though, and I'm glad that it's not overly creepy or weird. I don't think I've ever seen a game quite like this. No Disney game minus Kingdom Hearts, and I guess you could say Epic Mickey had a tone like this. It'd be interesting to see a remake of the game. To this day, people still talk about this game. I'll talk more about this game on Halloween, maybe even give it a proper review. For now though, the topic is closed. It'd be interesting to see a remake of the game. It'd be no. To this day, people still talk about this. Today, people... I'll talk more about this game on Halloween, even give it a proper review. For now, though,